Yo, what up, bitches? It's Papa Swole fucking Normous, and if you want to learn how to do that, then you've come to the right fucking place.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
I wish I could do that. Oh, isn't that sexy? Look at that. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. That's actually me. This was me before I started lifting weights. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. This is my pal Dominic, and if you're in premium, you already know what we're going to talk about today, so you got some extra special treats, and he's doing some pretty fun shit, I would say. What would you call that, D?
This is Pincha Mayurasana, the peacock, the feathered peacock, in the full lotus pose.
Pincha, what he said?
Mayurasana.
Mayurasana, Pincha Mayurasana, blah, blah. The feathered peacock, which I like better.
Yeah.
I like a good feathered peacock.
English
I think
is easier.
English is easier. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Sanskrit. So what's up? Let's see. Make sure, okay, this is probably one of, if not, let's go over here. Let's go over here so we're not squinting too much. This is episode 279, but first off, hold on. You know the intro. Well, you can flex it with me. You're gonna have to flex it with me.
I'll definitely flex it with you.
Here we go. Before we start, make sure you hit the share button. I know we got some good heads in there. Everyone's coming in. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Make sure that you come make sure you come in, share this broadcast, because today is gonna be an amazing, we're gonna break down, or I'm gonna let him break down a lot more. Intro to headstands, handstands, intro to inversions, really. But first, because he is a yoga expert, and you know how Papa Swole fucking Normous always talks about yoga, how I always want you to do your yoga, right? Get swole, see? Real men do yoga. Real men do yoga. How do you think I got this beard? You think I got this beard by lifting weights? Not so. Not so. So I have a special guest, and we are going to break down, and he is going to introduce and maybe even demo a couple things. I think we might get into a little bit, and then I'll tell you where you can see the rest of the video. Let's get started. Drum roll, please. Brrr. Welcome, everyone, to episode 279 of The Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular podcast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex. Our biceps. This episode's gonna be lit like a motherfucking tit. The nipples are hard, but not as hard because it's hot as shit down here in Florida. If you are sweating right now, like us, because it is probably like 85 degrees, it is smoking down here in Hollywood Beach. I have a very, very, very special guest. This is Dominic Nappa III, and he's the third, but he's the best. So it's very important to understand that concept. Dominic Nappa III, but the best one of all of them.
3.0.
3.0. I like that, version 3.0. So this episode is Intro to Inversions and Yoga Live Demo. So first off, I wanted to, again, introduce Dominic Nappa III, a yoga expert. And because I always promote yoga so much on the Daily Swole, and I always want everyone to implement yoga in combination with their weight training, in combination with the resistance training, as a wonderful restorative, multi-dimensional, multiplanar activity. It's great for deloading. It's great for increasing your balance, improving your mental, your physical, your physiological, everything in my life. And Dominic can attest to that as well. In his personal life has improved as, from adding yoga into the routine. So without further freaking ado, I am going to allow him to introduce himself and tell all of you why yoga with your strength training is so important, and why every single person watching this and that will be watching this should add yoga to their routine.
Thank you, Dash, and thank you for this wonderful outlet to spread this message, because
more than welcome, brother.
It's something that's not really talked about often. They're kept separate so often. Yoga's one thing, weight training is another, but they complement each other so perfectly.
Absolutely.
And if you do one without the other, really you can risk injury if you continue the repetition of the practice again, one or the other. So it's perfect when you start bringing them together. You're gonna find that balance, that patience, really. You know, you won't become more frustrated with things you're able to attain or not able to attain. It becomes more awareness of your physical health, your mental health, and less judgment, really. We're always judging the body, we're always judging the thoughts. We take these things on so heavily.
It's very critical.
Yes, we become
Always
very
very
critical,
critical.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yoga is going to help you not only physically, but it's also going to help you mentally to detach from that idea of being critical of yourself or others even.
Absolutely. And with fitness and with exercise, same thing we always talk about with nutrition, with your strength training, with your program design, you have to find yourself. And oftentimes, a society and as a world, we're always looking outside. We're always looking for an answer. We're always looking for a new thing. We're always looking for the new fad. We're always looking for the next thing that's going, the magic pill, the thing that's going to magically make everything happen. But we need to look
The easy
more,
way.
yeah, the easy way. We need to look more within. And with yoga, you are looking more within.
Yeah.
And I want Dominic to touch upon something that's I hold very dear to me when it comes to Swolenormous and the brand and weight training, is the concept, how it relates to life, how it relates to yoga, but with patience. And we want things now. We want things now. Hey, shit, I can go live on the beach in the middle of the day and just, I feel like going live, I'm gonna go live now. And you wanna watch me, so you watch me now. And not everything is now, and the body has evolved very slowly. The body adapts very slowly, and the marring and the blending and that dichotomy of wanting things now and being used to things now and having to be patient often gets lost in the shuffle, and you get discouraged way too quickly. So explain, patience as it has applied to your practice and your students in yoga, and how it can apply to the members that are mostly from a weight training background.
Absolutely, yeah. When I first started practicing yoga, I came from a construction, and I played football in high school, so I had past injuries, whether it was lower back injuries, I had broken bones, I had dislocated my shoulders repeated amounts of times, so there were some postures that I thought never, and I thought can't. And these words, I'm here to tell you, they do not exist. In yoga, in life, there isn't a can't, there isn't a never. It's just what you want to work towards. It's how much effort you want to put towards something. And it's how much you can work around things. You might not be able, you might be humbled by a certain posture or a certain exercise in resisting training.
Absolutely.
You might find something that it's like literally running into a wall. But guess what? That wall is just in your mind. That wall can be crumbling down at any time. It just depends on how hard you want to push against it. And really, whether it's working fundamentally from a plank into a crow, into a crane, into eventually things like handstands and other fun inversions that aren't the point of the practice, but it's all about finding progression. Never staying stagnant, never staying still, always seeking growth.
Well, what do you think about, and in terms of most people's experience, and I have to say with social media, that most people's experience with yoga are those Instagram yogis, like, oh, look at this picture of me doing like an inversion and doing a split like on a rock in the middle of the ocean.
Yes.
Doing some crazy with some,
And I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes I share a picture that might look out of this reach, out of this world, or out of your reach.
how does that apply, or how should that influence someone that's looking at yoga from an outside looking in the window? Like, how do you need a grain of salt with that picture, or is that like, okay, those are some things that you should be looking to attain? Like, is that possible for them? Is that something they should be working towards?
Yeah,
how realistic are some of those things?
Yeah, it depends on the posture. Some of them are straight up contortionists. Some of them, I would say that they have exceeded the amount that their body is capable of on a normal, regular basis, and you can still, act, react, lift weights, stuff like that. So I would say some of them you got to look at with a grain of salt. Some of these things are way out there, the hyper splits and some crazy stuff. It leans towards circus acts. It leans towards acrobatics.
Right.
But what I would want you to do is remember that the person in that picture, they put in the work.
True.
You better believe that.
Even if they're
had to
contortionists, they gotta
exactly,
practice the
no
control.
matter what it was.
Right.
Even if they're circus performers, they put in the work, and no
doubt.
matter how many times they've done it, to balance on your hands takes focus. You can't just think about the store and tomorrow and yesterday. You can't be stressed if you're only focused on standing on your hands, or your head, or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
So really you have to remember that that person is focusing in that moment, and though they might be doing it just for the picture, just to send you an idea of the possibilities of the practice, because really that's what it is. It is possible.
And for more followers.
It's possible, yes. That goes without saying for sure. So you remember that, you know, don't risk injury by jumping into those things too soon.
Sure.
Put in the work, put in the focus.
I think that's what it is. You know, you see these yoga postures like, oh, cool, I could do an inversion. Let me get against a wall and throw up a handstand, and then you hurt your neck.
No walls.
Well, I'm gonna have Dominic allow him to demonstrate in a moment, you know, one of the basic to the progression really quickly. But then I want to make sure that everyone understands that this is a video that's currently live in Premium, my Premium Facebook group. So you can sign up right now, click the sign up button to gain access to Premium today. We broke down, actually, I shouldn't say we, I filmed, Dominic broke down.
You did a great job at filming too, by the way.
I did. I held the camera, I stood behind him, I made funny faces, and I flexed on him and stuff, but you couldn't see all that. But in Premium right now, there's a video not only just demonstrating, but breaking down the actual form and like where the pressure should be, where the center of gravity should be, literally how you can start today so you can get into the more advanced postures. But for right now, once we break into that, we're just gonna show the actual physical aspect. But if you're interested in learning more about this, and of course, more program design, nutritional guidance, community, all the benefits of Swolenormous Premium, there's so much material. Plus you have myself, then you have the resident yogi Dominic in there, and everyone else that's in there with all their experiences, funneling to make that section of Swolenormous so amazing and so unique. So if you want to sign up, you can sign up today. Click the sign up button or go to swolenormous.com. The sign up button's easier. Just hit that, and trust me, it's going to be worth it, especially when you get those discounts for the program that's being released coming soon, and all the new content is going to be, like I said, lit like a tit. So with the Instagram pictures, coming back to that, you have these people where you see the end result. And with yoga, with anything else, people want to get swole today. They say, Papa Swole, you're fucking enormous. How do I get absolutely yoked like it ain't no joke right now? And I said, you can't. There's no way to do this. Like Arnold says, there's no way to do this. It's impossible, you know? You can't do this. You can't just get fucking huge. He didn't know I was playing that. You can't just have a protein shake. What do I do to get big? What do I do to get abs? You do a combination of different things, and you do them consistently for weeks, months, and most likely years. And the same thing with yoga. And I see a lot of pictures that are realistic from people that I know that show a pose and they say 2014, they show the next pose 2016. And from the naked eye, you're like, oh, that's only like a few more inches. That is like night and day in the world of flexibility and mobility, especially when it comes to spinal range of motion. So the end point, people don't see the practice. And before we go, I'm gonna have Dominic speak one more time on the concept of practice. People don't see the practice. They see, and I did that, oh, and this is what I wanted to say. I did a driving while gaining on my YouTube channel, and it's called, it's about Tom Brady. And he's a huge Pats fan, and I don't pick sides, but.
Don't hate.
But Tom Brady, people see that and like, oh, well, he won because of X, Y, and Z. The years, the hours, the work. People don't see the work. They don't see getting up before dawn for practice, doing 2-a-days, 3-a-days growing up, going to it every day through high school and college, and the pros and the fails and the losses and the missed throws if you're a football fan. But no matter where you are, whether you're a pro bodybuilder, they didn't get big in a couple years. These pro bodybuilders are winning competitions. They're like 30s and 40s because they've been lifting for 15, 20, 25 years. It's the end point they see, and everyone sees. They don't see the practice. They don't see the failures. They don't see the hard work. There's no one that's successful out there that does not bust their ass day in and day out with a ton of failures.
On that point, not to interrupt.
So, no, do it.
The best yogis that I see are probably twice my age. Just to make the point that he was making. They've been practicing for years. They do things that I could never imagine that I'm still reaching towards.
And what do they have over you? They have time.
Experience, that's all.
Time and experience.
Yep.
They have doing it. He's twice his age. They have doing it for twice as long.
That's right.
And of course, there's doing it the right way. There's doing it the conscious way. There's doing it with proper progressions. But it doesn't matter what you know. And you could listen to every fucking episode of The Daily Swole. You can listen to all 279. It doesn't make a difference unless you go and do it, unless you try, unless you apply it. If you don't execute, it's all for nothing. It's worthless. You could talk about yoga and how I want to do yoga. Oh, I've been thinking about doing yoga for years. Well, have you done it? No. Then shut up. It's all about doing it. It's all about doing it. So take the risk. And Dominic, right now, I'm going to cast him away to the mat, and he is going to demonstrate briefly. I guess, the beginning to the progression and want to just flow through it?
Yeah, I'll just flow through a few postures.
Because we did all the explanations in Premium.
We did the explanations of Premium. The reason that we did that in Premium is because I know that when you go to a yoga class and it's your first time, your second time in there, you see people doing the headstands and the crow, the crane, things like I'm about to demonstrate, and it's discouraging. You're thinking, how the hell
think you're
am I
behind,
ever gonna
like,
do that?
You think I suck at yoga? And
yeah, why aren't they teaching me in the moment how to do it? And they can't. It's difficult to take the time with each individual student, break it down for you, your individual body, your individual progression. So really, by using that, the Premium, what we just did, what we broke down, is you can use that as a reference point so that before you go to a class or after you go to a class, if you have a question, you can go to something like that, you can check back in, you can have a little checkpoint, know what you're supposed to be focusing on during the postures.
Let's do it. Let's do it. A day nothing to it. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. So I might have to, should I even show the yoga or should I just show my face?
Just show the beard.
All right, so I'm just gonna, you know what? I'll tell you what he's doing. And then if you want to see the rest of the video, you have to go to Premium. I'm just joking. I'm not gonna do it. Hold on. I just can't see. Oh, I can't see. All right.
So I'm gonna start.
Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let me just lower this first.
Yeah.
All right. And Dominic, you are on your live, and we got lots of eyes on your yogi body.
I'm gonna jump into a pose. I'll call it out as I'm in it. The first one's gonna be crow pose.
That's the crow.
You can switch it to Kundyanasana 1, the one-legged stat, Sage's stat.
Ooh. Gangster.
Makrasana, the 8-angle pose.
I sleep like this.
A chin stand. And now I'll show you a headstand with just Shirasana, which I showed in the Premium group. I'll pike into it for you, straight leg pike.
Yeah, so this is what we did in Premium earlier. We broke down how you can progress and how you can adjust to get into this posture. And that last part is going to take a little bit of practice. Yeah, look at that. Boom. That's it. There you go. And that's how you come out of it gracefully.
That's how you come out of it gracefully, that's right.
That was awesome, dude. That was totally cool. Totally cool.
Stick with us, guys. You switching around now?
Yeah. Didn't turn around.
Okay, cool.
All right, so if you liked inversions, and most people, and I say inversions because most people like inversions. Most people go to yoga class and that's all they want to do is inversions, handstands. I mean, honestly, even if you're in here and you're coming from a CrossFit background, you know that in your exercise, and I always rage on CrossFit, but I can't stop anyone from doing what they want to do. So if you're into CrossFit,
yes, you can.
and that's something, that's true. Well, I didn't want to discourage them. I didn't want to let them know that I could just flex on them and break their phone and
make them do it,
blow the air out of their tires. But no matter what you're into, whether you're into that type of competitive training, whether you're into just doing the inversions and getting the benefit of the venous return and the gravitational pull of fluids through your body in the opposite direction, decompression of the spine and decompression and recompression in different ways. Inversions are amazing, they're fantastic, and even as we were talking about before, I don't think you demonstrated right there, but just a basic child's pose is probably the most basic inversion. And that's really something that you could even just Google. It's amazing. It's just a head below the heart, and it's an amazing recovery. It's an amazing lengthening of the spine. It's an in-between pose, a beginning pose, a cool down pose. But inversions in general are an amazing asset to anyone's arsenal for strength training, for stabilization training, and just for fun, for entertainment. But once you do it and you find that sweet spot, that balance, you actually strengthen the shoulder to prevent injuries in the future. You open up certain areas of the thoracic spine, the cervical spine, and finding that new balance point, that pendulum, that new sweet spot, you are like a human gyroscope. And when you find that balance upside down, standing on your other two legs, it really does. I know it sounds cheesy and it's a whole new perspective, but I'm gonna leave you with the story of why
Nice.
Because that perspective, that's a perfect segue of, what is it, why a headstand is called a headstand, or why the name of a headstand?
Well, yeah, it's like ancient, the ancient yogis would always come up with stories to describe to their students.
Take it.
Yeah, so
that's killing.
Whenever
Badass.
Whenever a posture was brought into the class, when you're holding it and you're shaking and you're hating it, this was years ago, the teacher would tell you a story about the origination. Something like, I just demonstrated a crow. You reach the chin forward. If you fall on your face, that's the idea. In life, you're gonna fall down. You get back up and you can fly. So that's the crow, the headstand. The story goes that the soldiers of a king didn't understand why he treated his queen a certain way. Remember, this is from India, so no feminism or anything. But,
disclaimer.
He didn't. Yes, a little disclaimer. He didn't understand why the king treated his queen so well. So he stood on his head to see the world from a different perspective, and maybe that was why. It was all silly stories like that. But it ties brings a little entertainment to the practice, and it ties it in, so it blends a story and a common thread between the postures.
Absolutely. So you can see the value already, and if you're looking to add yoga to your practice, if you already practice yoga, you're looking to take it to another level. Remember, the breakdown, the segue, the integration, and the progression of doing what you can practice today to get better at doing those more advanced poses tomorrow, the next day, next year. That all happened a little bit earlier, and it's posted in my premium group. So if you want to sign up, check it out. Click the sign up button today. It still maintains $4.99 a month. It's amazing value, and a lot more yoga, a lot more workout, exercise demos, corrective exercise, strength training, all types of stuff in premium going down.
He could sell this all he wants, but is there a better, really, how much do you spend if you were to spend a month's membership at a gym or with a personal trainer?
This is unprompted. I don't know what he's gonna say.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I have to, because I've been trying to tell my family, my friends, to get into this. $5 a month. You cannot beat that. You cannot beat that. You have an accountability group. You have people that are asking questions. There's a wealth of knowledge. Not just this man and this giant beard. There's too much knowledge in there for us to even contain, but still, there's so much more out there, and there's over 100 something people now in the group now, so it's growing every day. And jump in while it's hot. I mean, get it now before the worth goes up to the point where he can't charge only $5. So I would say right now it's the best deal out. Go out, Swolenormous Premium.
That was badass. And before we sign off, I want Dominic to tell everyone where you can find Dominic on social media. We can find him in real life. You take one of his classes. So if you're local in the area and you're in South Florida, dude, tug away. Where can they find you? Where can they train with you?
Hollywood Beach, Florida. If you're ever down here, it's the vacation spot. I think we might be doing a Swolenormous retreat or something in the future one day. But this is the vacation spot. You get down here. We got beach yoga. You practice facing that. We got a shala here on the Broadwalk, so you practice and then you walk out to this.
What's it called?
It's called Amazing Yoga Shala.
Amazing Yoga. Amazing, AHH, and then hyphen, Amazing Yoga. And it really is amazing. It's a great practice. And what about Instagram or anywhere?
Instagram, like Dominic Nappa III.
So Dominic Nappa and then 1 like I.
Yeah, 3 L's, so it looks like the third, but there's no.
I'll put that information in the comments, so I'll type it up below here or in the screen at the top, and that way you know where to find him.
If you're in Deerfield on Monday nights, 7:15, Anutara Yoga Shala, 7:15. It's a power class, and even if you're at Amazing, if you come to the Hollywood Beach Shala here, we have every style. I teach all sorts of styles, from the beginners to the more advanced, to the more relaxing, to the more restorative, to the more meditative. Whatever you're looking for, we got it here.
And that's the great thing about yoga, is that just like anything else, you like pizza, there's 100 different kinds of pizza. You like weightlifting, there's a lot of different types of weight training. You like yoga, man, do not base your thoughts on yoga on one freaking class or one instructor. We're talking like many different styles, many different transitions, many different flows, and every single flow is different. Every single instructor is gonna be different, just like anything else that you do. So the variety is endless. So open up your mind, keep an open mind. And those of you that follow me here on Swolenormous, you know you're already doing just that. So thank you so much for joining myself and Dominic for episode 279 of the Daily Mother Swole, where we get yoked like it ain't no joke, the most muscular podcast in the fucking realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex. Biceps. Thank you for joining me live here on Facebook every day at 12 noon each time at Swolenormous. Thanks for watching on YouTube. And if you're catching the podcast, thank you for listening in on SoundCloud and iTunes. Peace out. Deuces, magooses. I will see you tomorrow, of course, at 12 noon. Later, guys.